on active search scramble in the descending zone.
Hello and welcome aboard today's flight. This flight was taken on December 21st, 2019, and the purpose of this video is to demonstrate a teardrop pattern entry. A teardrop pattern entry is when you're entering the pattern at a non-towered airport that's busy with other air traffic. It allows you to evaluate the flow of traffic and to seamlessly insert yourself into that traffic in a safe manner. A lot of times you don't know that you need to use a pattern, the teardrop pattern entry, until you approach the airport and figure out what's going on out there. So here we taxied at my home airport at Tacoma Narrows and did our run up, and here we're approaching runway 17, hold short line, getting ready to take off, and we requested a southeast departure, and we're going to be requesting to transition the Air Force Base at McChord. So here we got our clearance to take off runway 17, and our southeast departure is approved. And as soon as we're airborne, we're going to get a handoff from Tacoma Tower to contact McChord Tower and request permission to transition their airspace from west to east. So here we're on our takeoff roll. And I've got all the frequencies set up, the McChord Tower frequency on standby. Also the ATIS frequency. For this flight, we're flying into Pierce County Airport, also known as Thun Field. That's Kilo Papa Lima uniform. So as you can see, it's an overcast day. The cloud ceilings, if I recall correctly, are about 4,000. And here we're climbing out to 2,000 for the short flight over to Thun Field, which is only about 17 miles line of sight. And we're taking the most direct route. I also inserted into this video the recording from ForeFlight on the iPad. So here we're on a normal climb out. And then I transition the video, and this is us transitioning McChord Air Force Base. Unfortunately, there's no C-17 traffic, as there often is, and in many cases you can see the C-17 traffic land underneath you. So this shows our flight path. Again, this is from the actual recording from ForeFlight, from the real-world flight that I took the other day. So that's transitioning McChord airspace, and this is us approaching Pierce County Airport. So here we found out that there was a lot of traffic in the pattern, so I climbed to 500 feet above traffic pattern altitude, and this shows my flight path in the actual flight, where I crossed the field at 500 above pattern altitude, and then a right turn, this is where the teardrop is, and then I descend to pattern altitude here and merge in with whatever other traffic there may be in the pattern at the time, and then make a normal downwind base and final. So that's the teardrop entry. Alternatively, the FAA does permit also to cross midfield at pattern altitude and make a left turn into the downwind. That's perfectly acceptable, but it's not something you'd want to do in a busy pattern. If you have someone in the downwind leg, you don't want to do that because you're at the same altitude as they are in the pattern, and that could present a dangerous situation. So in this case, when I saw on my ADS-B on my iPad using ForeFlight the other air traffic in the pattern, I knew that I had to climb up to 500 feet above pattern altitude to create separation and do the teardrop entry for safety. Now here I am crossing the airport, and so right now I'm evaluating where the other traffic is in the pattern to determine when to time my turn and merge in on the downwind leg. The traffic pattern altitude here is 1,400 feet. And here I'm actually crossing at 2,000. So here in a few seconds I'll initiate my right turn. Again, all the while looking at my iPad at the ADS-B to see the other traffic in the pattern, so that again I can time my turn and entry into the downwind leg to create sufficient separation between the other air traffic. So here's the right turn. And here I'm descending now from 2,000 feet down to pattern altitude, because you always want to enter the pattern at pattern altitude. So here I'm also looking out the right window down at the airport. So that as I enter the downwind leg, I have the appropriate distance from the runway. So there's the airport. Continuing my right turn to enter the downwind. And again, the traffic that at the point where I initiated my teardrop, my climb to 2,000, that traffic was just entering the downwind leg, and at this point it's on final. So I'm well clear of that traffic. Now paralleling the runway on the downwind leg, getting ready to initiate my base turn. So at the runway threshold, I initiated my descent. To approximately 200 feet below pattern altitude, I initiate my base turn. Again, continuing my descent. And when I straighten out here, I'll add my second notch of flaps to 25 degrees. So there you can see the airport to the left. So now I'm perpendicular to the runway. Again, continuing my descent. And here's the turn to final. And I'll add my final notch of flaps when established on final, and about a half mile from the runway. Airspeed right now is at 85 miles per hour. And I'll slow that down to 80 on final. And then I like to cross the threshold at about 75 miles per hour with 40 degrees flaps. So as you can see, landing runway 17. And I flew here to Dunfield actually to pick up an airplane part at Spencer Aircraft, which is located just off the field. There ahead and to the right. And making this taxiway here, Spencer Aircraft is the large building there that you can see to the left. It's a surprisingly busy airport. A lot of air traffic going in and out of there at any given time. There you can again see Spencer Aircraft. There's a guy walking out to his airplane. He actually took off from here just before I did. I flew from here over to Norman Greer Field, and he ended up landing over there too. I'm going to have that flight included in a separate video and talk about the Fly Washington Passport program, which is a really fun program. So that's it. Thanks for joining me today, and that's a Teardrop entry. Hope to see you again soon.